What's up, Dominators? Welcome back to the V-ShiHai's channel, and today I present to you my personalized gold Paladin deck recipe. So yes, this is the deck that I run in the previous video where I showcased GP versus RP, in which I luck set a lot and my friend was pretty tilted, but you know, it's Vanguard and GP in itself is a really pretty luck sucky deck. So yes, this is the list as usual, following the new format of where I showcase the full deck right here. And then after that we'll get into the cards. Why do I run the cards, the card skills, and maybe a little bit of combos here and there later on. Alright, so let's just jump right into it. So this is the new GP, came out in V-BT05. I'm even using the new playmat that they came. 3 new cards that were introduced in V-BT05 with only GP having only 5 cards inclusive of 2 new triggers. So you can see the 2 new triggers right here. With 2 triple rares being not Hoel, Paladin first. So we get the Greek to Paladin, and yes, actually now that I think about it, it is Hoel. So Paladin Hoel, basically the K and Bedivere of RP. For instead of RP it becomes GP. And then obviously we have the new VR right here. I got 2 SVRs, Platina Ezels, yes. Alright, so let's just jump right into the deck. First, we have Platina Ezel, so I think this is the new VR that everybody was so hyped about, and a lot of controversy was going around whether the card was good or not, but I think it is really good. Considering that you actually need 2 Great Trees in Soul in order for the full, in order for you to activate the full ability and use it to the fullest basically, it's actually okay because most of the time, in this deck where you run Bowman and Gareth, I don't run Bowman and Gareth as you can see, but usually you'll be able to pull off the superior riding using Don Ezra and Ravenhair, we should get to later, and then after that finally riding into Platina Ezel for your finisher per se. Alright, moving on. X skill costs counter +1 and change this turns drive check to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, reveal 1 card from among them to your trigger zone, and then you call 1 card among them to our Regat circle. And then if your soul has 2 or more grade 3 cards, change the second drive check of the turn and more as well. So if you notice that there's the and more as well, meaning that in premium applications it has it has users, or if you are able to give your Vanguard more than 2 drive checks per turn, the skill does proc. In extreme fight as well. Basically you merge a few decks together to form a newly made deck. But basically yes, this is the new Platina as a skill. I feel that it's pretty strong because in order for you to get the multi-attack off, previously you actually have to call cards from hand such as Sagramore, or you have to call Wonder Ezel, and then Wonder Ezel procs into its own skill in which you call another card from hand. But now it has more consistency in terms of multi-attacking, in which what Gold Paladin is supposed to do, I presume. And then at the same time, you are able to square the top 2 cards of your deck, which filters out really well, and you are able to determine the triggers that you will get. So top 2 may be 1 normal unit and 1 trigger, so you obviously reveal the trigger and then you call the normal unit, and then the trigger activates after you call the normal unit. So the normal unit or a trigger unit, doesn't matter, you have to call 1 either ways, but the unit that is called do get the trigger effect, whether it's a front, crit, heal, or draw. And obviously front, it gives your whole front row the power, but in terms of the other triggers you have to assign. So I think this is a really good VR. You don't really have to necessarily boost it, and most of the time your opponents will have to gut for no pass if they are really worried of you checking into 2 triggers and pumping all of it into your Vanguard, because yeah, you're able to scry top 2. Even OTT wasn't able to do that before, but this is at a cost of counter +1 and just have to have 2 great trees in soul. So it's really good. Consistency wise, I would say you have to depend on the superior riding in order to make the skill very effective. Moving on to Ravenhair Ezel. So I still play Ravenhair Ezel. As you can see, this deck is actually pretty interesting in terms of me running 2 of the Blonde Ezel and Ravenhair Ezels, 3 copies of each. Basically what I actually determined that I would actually cut both of them, 1 copy of both of them for actually 2 more Sagramors, in which I don't have because I'm just too lazy to get it. Basically the deck works well, but obviously if you have Sagramore, it grants you the extra filter and the extra attack, using it to call based on your Howell skill, not Howell skill, your Wonder Ezo skills, or even your your Howell, this guy skills. So it depends whether you really want to run Sagramore or not. If I would say Sagramore is not like a minus, it's more of a plus, but some people beg to differ. I don't really want to get into that. Moving on to Platina as Rivenhead as a skill, we're getting off track. Continuous hand if the not continuous X skill. If your Vanguard is incandescent Lion Brown Ezo, you may count +1 and write this card as stem. And then when using your attacks, if incandescent Lion Brown Ezo, which is this card, is in your soul, you count +1 until end of battle. This unit gets 15k at 1 crit, and your opponent cannot call sentinels from his or her hand. So against decks that you really want to rush down and want to have that added crit and sentinel, you ideally want to stay on Rivenhead Ezo. As I said before, I think in my previous video, or the caption was, when this deck faces against Narukami, it's almost an instantaneous loss, but you are able to high roll into it. So if you are able to high roll, you ideally want to stay on your Rivenhead Ezo to keep applying the pressure of a 15k 1 crit, 15k 1 crit all the time. And you ideally would not want to open too many extra circles for them in order for the Narukami's VR to actually gain additional crit and power. Moving on to Blonde Ezo, which is ideally your first right. Continuous hand, if you have Knight of Superior Skills, Billman, and Knight of Elegant Skills, get on Vanguard or Rearguard, you may so +1. Your starter, Crimson Lion Cliff, write this card as stand. And if your opponent grade is 2 or less, this unit gains -1 drive until end of turn. And then when this unit attacks, you may call a card from your hand to Rearguard Circle. That's basically it. As I said before, I don't run Billman and Gareth, so the only way you superior ride is through Wonder Ezo and Howell right here, in which we'll get to later. Moving on to the grade 2s, we have the new Paladin, Advance of Black Chains Paladin, yes, if I remember correctly. Rearguard skill on place, count +1, discard a card from your hand, let top 3 cards on the top of your deck, call 1 from among them, shuffle, and then if Strongholds of Black Chains Howell, which is this thing, is on your Vanguard Rearguard, you draw a card. Reasons why this card is really good, I recommend you guys play it at all times, is because number 1 is Viviane but at a lower cost. Obviously Viviane does gain the 3k, but it doesn't. In the end, it's exact same skill, but at the same time, it's a +1 on the field if you have Howell on board, because it refunds the cost of you discarding the card. So it's basically count +1, top 3, call 1. And at the same time, it shuffles your deck, in which previously, if I don't run Billman nor Gareth, there's almost no possibility of me shuffling the deck except for using Wonder Ezo's skill, and obviously Howell in order to superior right into Blonde Ezo. But with the new Paladin, you are able to shuffle your deck, in which you don't have to stack the triggers all at the bottom, using some cards as this card right here we'll get to later. And previously Viviane also skill states that you are supposed to put the cards that are not called from her skill to the bottom of the deck. So if you put triggers at the bottom deck, you're unlikely to get them unless really late into the game. But now with the new card, you're able to shuffle your deck, which thins out your deck at the same time, helps you filter for more triggers when you draw check. Moving on to Wonder Ezo, so I think people obviously still play this grade 2 because it's one of the more better way. I think it's the better way of superior riding into Blonde Ezo, because indirectly you don't really need Blonde Ezo in your hand in order for you to superior ride, because it superior rides from the deck. At the same time, if your opening hand has this Wonder Ezo, a Howell, and another grade 1 you already set, additional plus with you having Rivenhead and Platina in your hand in order for the rush and for the consistent riding. So Wonder Ezo skill is basically so +1, retire Crimson Lion this Howell, which is basically retire this card. Search your deck for 1 incandescent Blonde Ezo, right as stand, and it gets drive -1 at the end of turn, and then you shuffle your deck. So obviously it allows you to superior ride easily, and then you may count +1, you ride Rivenhead, so you get rid of the -1 drive. And then the other skill is when placed, you may call a card from your hand to Rearguard Circle, so it allows you for the multi-attack of, let's just say, you got Kaidi, you got this guy right here, I don't remember his name, later probably will remember or get through it. And then you can proc using Howell skill as well, and numerous other skills such as Platina as well. So it allows your D-Drain to go active as well, and some other on-place cards which I don't run. Moving on to the last grade 2 we run is basically All Out Knights Ethels, I guess that's how you pronounce his name. Basically Vanguard Rearguard skill, almost the same skill as Paladin, but the funny thing is you don't have to require counterblast. At the same time, it doesn't shuffle the deck, so you put the cards called to the bottom of the deck. Skill: when placed from hand, you discard a card from your hand. Look at top 3 cards at the top of the deck, call up to 1 card with grade less or equal to your Vanguard to Rearguard Circle, and then put the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. So it's basically a shittier version of Paladin because number 1, you don't shuffle your deck, you put the cards to the bottom of the deck, and number 2, you are only able to call cards equal or less than to the grade of your Vanguard. But reason why I play this is because in this deck where the counterblast is pretty heavy, you can see this takes counterblast, this takes counterblast, this takes counterblast, this takes counterblast. Opponents try to limit your counterblast here and there most of the time when you superior, right? So having this card where you're able to build your field even without counterblast, compared to, let's just say, Viviane, which cuts counterblast and soul blast, is really efficient and effective, I would say. So one of the reasons why I actually really like this card is because of it not having a cost of either counterblasting or soul blasting. So yes, and it's on place from hand. So yeah, you can't actually block it off from any skill, but it's still a good card to include in your deck. Moving on to the new grade 1, so we got Stronghold, the Black Chains Howell. This is the card that one of the reasons why I said that you're able to get really good multi-attacks off if you have Paladin on your Rearguard Circle or your Vanguard Circle. Basically, the skill continuous Rearguard Circle, your other unit, when your other unit is placed in the same column as this unit, the unit gains 10k, plus 5k, sorry, the unit gets plus 5k, but if this card, Paladin, is on your Vanguard Rearguard, it gains 10k instead of 5k. So if this card is basically on board, whatever unit that you place in the same column this turn, it will gain 10k instead of 5k. The other unit in the same column as this unit was placed this turn gets 5k. Yeah, so it basically allows you to have the multi-attack whenever you place a new unit on in the same column as this, it gains 10k, but obviously if you don't have Paladin on board, it gains 5k instead. So it's really good multi-attack. At the same time, it allows you to proc off Platina, where Platina, you know, check top 2, call 1, you can call in the same column, and then after that you reveal the trigger or you reveal whatever drive that you want to drive, and it allows the multi-attack of you calling first, then you attack with the unit that is not boosted by Howell. Then after that, using Platina's skill to call over the unit in the same column as Howell, so the unit that's called gains the ability from Howell, and then after that you're able to boost and, you know, have that high consistent power multi-attack. Moving on to the drain, as you can see, I have 4 congrats right here. It looks really nice. When placed by a card's ability, you may soul blast 1 and either draw a card or counter charge 1, and this unit gains 3k on the end of turn. So take note that the skill says you either draw a card or counter charge 1 and the unit gains 3k. So the unit gains 3k part is only when you counter charge, it's not when you draw. The wording has a comma and, you know, it really hard to read. Yeah, I really thought you may draw a card and then you gains 3k at the same time, but no, it doesn't. You either draw a card or you counter charge and the unit gains 3k. So it is different, and take note. Basically, why you run 4, obviously you're only counter charger in the deck. At the same time, it helps you filter deck if you don't really need the counter charge, you just want to draw. It's a really good card for you to draw. Moving on to Howell, so the last one, basically why you run him, because of one Ezel as well, you're able to superior right into Blonde Ezel. Skill is at end of battle that boosted. If you have Vanguard with Ezel in this card name, you may count +1, put this unit into your soul, you draw a card and call a card from your hand to Rearguard Circle. So you're able to call basically Paladin, Wonder Ezel, basically any other cards that complement Howell. You can call this guy, All Out Knights Athens, and then since it's called from hand, you may discard 1, top 3, call 1. At the same time, it procs most of the skills such as the drain, this guy, basically almost everything in the deck. So that's one of the reasons why you run. Obviously, you ideally want to open your hand with these 2 cards, maybe a Raven Hair and an additional grade 1, because obviously you wouldn't want to write into him. You need him for the cost of 1 Ezel. Last but not least, we got the trigger. So triggers, I would say, after mildly testing, I tested with 8 fronts, but it was super horrible against decks like Blade Master, Narukami, because they are so easily retiring or binding your rear guards that even if you check front triggers, is very very like mediocre, and your opponent be like, oh yeah, sure, go ahead, you check a front. That doesn't make any sense for me because you have no rear guards and it doesn't really deal that much damage because it's not crits. So ideally you want to run at least crits in the deck, and I run rainbow, so 4 draws, 4 crits, 4 fronts, and 4 heals. This part of the deck where you run draws and heals, you may actually not draws and heals, where you run fronts and crits, you may swap out any one of them. You may run like 6 crits to fronts if you want. You want run full crits also can, but I recommend run fronts because of the multi-attack chain combos with Paladin and Huel. At the same time, I feel that obviously crits are more pressuring in the early game, because in the early game when you don't really have a board set up, you check a front, your opponent will be like, yeah, sure, go ahead. You don't really have any more units, so you just have to end your turn. It's really displeasing and really, really, anticlimactic to check a front in the early game with no rear guards on board. So it's really up to you actually. I don't really have a comment on your trigger lineup. This is what I actually like running, because sometimes when your opponent guards 2 pass for your Platinum Ezel, it's really fun to actually check a front first, and then you check top 2 again to check a crit, and you pump all into the vanguard and your opponent has to take 2 damage. So it's really really good and consistent, but most of the time ideally you just wanna get the crits in and the fronts just because for the added pressure, and not just checking 2 fronts and then not having any rear guards on board to actually apply the 2 front pressure to your opponent. Yeah, so I think that's about it for that recipe. I think not much combo, as I said before. Ideally, you want to open your hand, as in the previous video where I versus Royal Paladin. I most of the time open my hand with these 2 cards and an additional grade 1 to write into, and then after that, during my grade 2 turn, I will superior write into 1 Blood Ezel, and then either proc Raven Hair or just staying on 1 Ezel, and then after that, I will try my best to write up into Platinum Ezel to resolve the full ability of the skill. But yes, that's all for today. Hope you guys liked it. I'll be posting more deck recipes soon about the new BT05. So OTT has yet to be done, Narukami has yet to be done, Paladin has yet to be done, and Nubatama has yet to be done. I'm almost done with my Nubatama deck, so please just hold on a little longer. But for now, I hope you guys like this. This is V-Shai, and I'm out. Peace.